Okay. Should be good to go in a second. Hey Sneakers, nice to see you, buddy. Sorry, I just woke up and my allergies were kicking up, so my nose is a little stuffy today. But I figured I'd stream and hang out with anybody who's interested for the next 2 hours before I head over to physical therapy. So I started the stream. It's nice to see ya. Oh, I'm echoing. Let me fix that. I had to watch the game. I have no plan of. I've been doing really well, buddy. Thank you for asking. How's it going, Brev?
Need more time.
Hope you guys enjoyed the Titanfall stuff yesterday. I'll have to do more of that soon. I did a lot better in dual rides than I thought I did. Definitely have a lot of de-resting to do for glitchless and frontier defense in general, though. So Breb, last July, well, first off, I have a muscle disease, and so that I've had symptoms for ever since I was 16, which has been gradually getting worse over time. But last July, I woke up 2 days before my birthday and realized my shoulder didn't work anymore. I only had about 10 to 20% range of motion. With absolutely no warning whatsoever. No idea what I did, just woke up and it was broken for all intents and purposes. Then I started physical therapy last October to try and get that improved, and started taking muscle relaxers a couple times a day to help with the treatment. And now I have full range of motion now most of the time, but really bad fatigue in my muscles, especially if I'm reaching overhead and stuff like that. If I'm reaching above my head, I can't use that arm for very long, and I can't lift more than a couple pounds. But so I've been going to physical therapy twice a week for the last like 5 months, 6 months, somewhere around there. It's not something that'll ever fully recover, but it's definitely something that's functional enough that I can work with now. And I have a few more weeks of physical therapy before they'll be discharging me. I appreciate it, guys. Yeah, it's just one of those things. Everyone has something, you know? I'm just glad mine is something that I can work with. Yeah, I go to physical therapy Tuesdays and Thursdays. Definitely a pain in the butt sometimes, but it's definitely functional. I mean, I'm still able to work while I have it. Hell, the day after my shoulder broke, I went to work in a sling and ran the kitchen and the fryers and stuff like that. Like, if you guys will let me work, I'll do it. I was a one-arm wonder with a sling for a few months. Now I'm a one-arm wonder with a partially working arm. And for context, I'm an assistant manager for a restaurant. Can you make a tutorial on how to stream an Xbox through YouTube? So you do need a computer that you can stream from. Have to have a PC. And then you need OBS, which is Open Broadcast or the Open Broadcast software. And you can either use the Xbox app or you can use a capture card. I don't think you need a certain amount of subs for streaming on YouTube, but so let me show you this. So you would need the OBS software here. You would need an external microphone. I use a Blue Yeti, but there are other microphones that aren't too bad either. It needs to be separate from the one that you use for your headset, because your headset puts your game audio into the game, but the stream hears everyone else, and your game audio through your in-game settings by going to volume audio and making it play to headset and speakers. That'll allow everyone in the stream to hear your game, your party chat, and anybody talking. But for them to pick up your audio, it needs to be the external microphone. But then after that, you'll need either an Elgato capture card or some type of capture card for a good quality stream. So it's a bit of money to invest into streaming on YouTube or on PC in general, but even if you're streaming on Twitch, I recommend it. If you really want to get into streaming, it's a good way to do so. But I don't think you need a certain amount of subs. Oh, you have to wear your glasses your whole life. Worse in my right eye. Oh. Yeah, see, like I said, Brad, everyone has something. It's just a matter of perspective and how we choose to deal with them. Because, like, given my situation and given a lot of people's situations, you could easily choose to say my life sucks and be upset and complain all the time. Or you could just accept it for what it is and learn to work with it and actually see positives in your situation, you know? Like when I was younger, I really struggled with self-harm and suicide when I was about 16, 18 or so. And that was a really difficult time for me. But after working through it and I actually found my faith in the process, I was able to take that and turn it into a positive by using what I went through as a means of reaching out to other people that are struggling with similar things and able to help them through it as well. And so, like, you can really turn anything into a strength. You don't ever, as long as, like, you don't have to be ashamed of what you went through and stuff like that, and things that you struggle with. Like, they're just experiences, and everyone has them. And you'd be surprised how many people go through something similar, even if it feels like it's something that you, like, no one else could ever possibly understand what you're going through. Believe me, someone knows probably exactly what you're going through. How long have you had problems with your eye, Brev? Yeah, I can't imagine having vision problems. That would drive me nuts.
Need more time.
Every time someone takes my class to see if I can see. Oh, gotcha. Sorry, guys, got really bad allergies. Yeah, I have my next visit for the doctor about my shoulder in 2 months. Now that physical therapy will be just about done.
Not ready yet. Need more arcane power. Need more time.
How long have I played this game? I've played this game on and off since 2012 or 13 when it first came out on console. I actually have more playtime on this than I do, what's it called, Titanfall. Gotcha, 124 is 1 GR too high. The fun thing about this game is there are seasons, seasonal play where every 3 to 4 months, everyone can compete in seasons with a fresh start. Everyone starts completely from scratch, and you compete to see who can push higher content in that time. So like the scaling system is the greater system, and how high of a difficulty you could do determines your ranking, and also how fast you could do it compared to the other people who have also done it. And there's individual leaderboards for each class, each set build on each class. So each character, there's 6 different leaderboards you can push, and then there's the 2-man, 3-man, and 4-man leaderboards. And you're able to compete on all of those. And then at the end of the 3 or 4 months, everyone starts over. Or you can play in non-seasonal mode, but nobody does that. And they come out with balance changes and build reworks and stuff like that for each season. New seasonal themes to change the way the game is played. Yep, essentially. This game's like a couple month long speed run, and the end game content is literally speed run higher and higher difficulty content. That's why I love it. These are graders that I'm doing right now, and they're what's the word? Randomly generated. And there are certain trends. It's basically like playing a roguelike. If you ever played those, where pretty much everything's randomly generated, but if the maps follow a set design of things that you can expect to happen, like there are certain things that'll happen on every single map. It's just what will, like, everything could happen. Each thing could happen, but which one happens and what mob types and stuff like that changes. But I'm also playing on hardcore difficulty, which is, or the hardcore version of the game, which is if your character dies, you lose your character. And so the hundreds of hours of progress I put onto this guy, if I die right now, I lose the majority of it. There are some things that you keep if you die. Oop, that's not bad. Very good. That was a cheat death. That was from a bug though with my follower that's been going on. I have just so much. Okay. So if you die, you lose all the good gear that you're wearing, and all the legendary gems that take a long time to get that you put into that character. So like each of these gems that says like the Call to Sin's Despair, rank 120, 130, etc. Each of those take probably 3 to 4 hours to get. And I have 12 of them right now. And so if I died, I'd lose all of this gear that I'm wearing, which is really good gear that a lot of this took quite a while to get good versions of. And I'd lose about 3 to 4 hours per augment gem. But you can plan ahead by, there's a stash box that you can keep up to 350 items in that you find, and those you get to keep. So I say backup gear and good alternatives and stuff like that. Rita, nice to see ya. How's it going? So Rita, after experimenting with these mirror images the last few days, I found a way to completely remove their stupidity. It's just being mindful of their position. So we were actually testing this last night in training rounds. So right here, from here to about there is 15 yards. Or a better example, your Flame Blade's hitbox, that's 15-yard radius. Which is the same bonus range for Audacity. Sorry, I had to take 3. But if your mirror images are within 15 yards of an enemy that they can target, they will not fuck off at all. The trick though is, and why they seem to fuck off so much, is it's not 15 yards within their character model. It has to be 15 yards within their center mass hitbox, which for some enemies is very different. So like, especially like Vesalius and Infernal Maiden and stuff, their hitbox is a lot smaller than their character model is. Same thing with like the Horn Chargers, and another good example. Tuskbogans, those are another one. I can actually go show you this though. So, if I'm right here and I cast images, some of them are probably gonna fuck off. Yep. See how the one attacked immediately because he was in range. And again, right here, 2 of these guys are gonna leave. Yep. While they figure out what they're doing. But if I'm right here, all 4 of them should hit. Oh, these guys have small hitbox. Hold on. So if I'm right here, all 4 of them should attack pretty much immediately. The smaller the enemy's hitbox is, the more precise you have to be with your positioning. I'm afraid to get close to these guys because I don't have you know, let me just get explosive blast stacks and then I can do this without worrying about dying. See, if you're right up against them when you do it, they're not gonna fuck off. Let me see if I have a single enemy that I can show it. Come here, critter. Let's kill the extras. Well, I didn't want to kill that one. I just want one game. There we go. But yeah, so if you're right up against their hitbox and you summon them, they're going to attack every single time. Or at least they should. As long as I'm within radius here, they're just, every time I summon them, no running away whatsoever. But if I'm right here, I'm probably going to have one run away. Yep. Bye-bye. And if I'm right here, probably going to run away again. So again, right up against the hitbox, all four are active. They like to fuck off. But yeah, you can completely correct their movement. And right now I'm actually doing speeds with a different variant, which is, so the highest damage you can get for speeds with this setup is actually to do squirts, obsidian, and COE. And then you rely on galvanizing ward and the dominance passive, so you give up audacity, which isn't worth quite as much as people think, because that radius that I was just showing you for whether or not the mirror images run away, that's what the game considers 15 yards. And audacity is also 15 yards to their center mass, so the majority of time audacity or mirror images and audacity don't give a shit. Yeah, I'm probably gonna make a guide on that today or tomorrow, I think, because we were just fine-tuning it last night. But so we gave up the 30% damage from audacity, and in speeds, in solo, I ran elemental exposure instead of my death proc, because I have the follower proc in mind, even though the follower proc is super bugged, and there's pretty much at least once every rift or every other rift, the follower bug or follower proc will set off because your because your mirror image proc, because they think it's you, and it's really frustrating. Like you'll see like, randomly like, I need healing, and they'll drop me down to 1 HP and proc me because my mirror image died. That is super annoying. I hate it. That's a really big problem with this build. Ryan, thank you for the $5 donation. Or what the hell? $50? What do you mean? Thank you so much, Brian. So the more audacity someone has, the more range they have. Well, everyone scared is audacity. But yeah, that's a very big problem for the follower proc specifically. It doesn't happen with your proc. Brian, thank you so much, dude. That's insane. Yep. Exactly, Rita. That's exactly what I'm talking about. Because your followers don't, or your critters don't also get immunity from that. But so, oh, thank you so much. How have you been, buddy? Yeah, I know it's you. It's been so long. I'm so happy to see ya. We haven't talked in forever. But so this setup, even though you're losing the one or both of your passives, it's still a way stronger variant, and you could technically do focus and restraint. And I'm telling you, don't do that. It sucks. One, manually casting your flame blades oftentimes drops your Tega, so you lose your 80% damage. But you're getting instead of getting 125% damage at all times, you're getting 50 from COE in the obsidian, and the obsidian is absolutely essential to this build. For speeds anyway. Tungsten, I'm so happy to see you, dude. I missed you. Hope everything's been treating you well. Ooh, I needed this. I'll see you later, Seekers. Thank you, buddy. That's not bad. That's not bad at all. Oh, I got a better necklace for speeds. That's actually a pretty good upgrade too. Been doing good, man. Yeah, I missed playing with you. I played Titanfall 2 a couple days ago for the first time in like a year. Most have been playing Apex. Understandable. Yeah, I played Titanfall yesterday for the first time in months as well. I was doing some Frontier Defense speed runnings and zooming with Mr. Box. This amulet's not amazing, so I don't want to throw like a 140 augment in there. They can have this though. Nice.
Not ready yet.
I lost 100 main stat and a little bit of crit damage, but I got 6 cooldown. Only worth. Not yesterday. We were just de-rusting. Like it's been months. We got a couple pretty good runs. Definitely had a lot of fun with it. We did better than we thought we would, considering how long it's been since we played. Oh, I gotta text someone about physical therapy in a bit. There we go. These do I have? I like how you did the technique of changing loadouts 20 times at the beginning. Well, no, that's not to get to the other side quicker. That's actually a really OP glitch. So switching loadouts like that and activating phase over and over again tricks the game into thinking you didn't leave phase realm, and it makes your pilot and Titan permanently invisible as a result. It's just like the Ronin phase glitch where you double phase dash and it makes your Titan invisible, except it works on wave 1 and it works for any Titan. So as soon as my pilot is invisible for wave 1, and when wave 2 and onward, my Scorch is invisible to enemies. That shit's hilarious. Scorch with maximum aggression is a profit. Yeah. Do you still play on Xbox, Tungsten? We should chat sometime. Our parties are always open. And I actually have a guide to that on my YouTube channel if you guys ever want to look at that more in depth. I have there's a couple of different ways to do the trick. Because you could do it either as a you could do it as a Ronin, you could do it as a pilot rodeoing a friendly Ronin, and you could also do it with the pilot trick that I was showing you yesterday. The pilot one is the most useful, although the most difficult to pull off. But it's the only one that works on wave 1. And doesn't require a Ronin in your lobby. Although realistically, if you're in Frontier Defense, there should be a Ronin in your lobby. There's probably more than one Ronin. back to you. How come you don't stream on Twitch? I asked them to remove my affiliate status and I wanted to switch over to YouTube. Twitch, the biggest problem with Twitch is they don't help you grow at all. So there's no search engine for people to find your channel and help you grow. But Twitch is also stingy and won't allow you to stream on multiple platforms while you're streaming with them if you're an affiliate. So they don't want you to grow or they don't want to help you grow, but they're also not allowing you to grow unless you're exclusively using them. So the most effective way to grow on Twitch is to home on another platform like YouTube and grow through video content or Facebook gaming or anything like that, and then convince your community on YouTube to watch you on Twitch so that you have enough of an average player or average viewer count that you're higher up in the directory so people can actually find you. And at that rate, why not just stay on YouTube? But I can stream on Twitch and YouTube simultaneously if I got rid of my affiliate status. I just haven't bothered yet, just because I really don't care much for Twitch. But I could get the premium version of OBS or Streamlabs OBS and stream on both YouTube and Twitch at the same time without any external software. But it's like 12 or if you buy it yearly, it's $12 a month. Oh yeah, Brim. Well, I didn't get banned. I told him to fuck off. But the other crappy thing was just really showing me how much of a scam, especially the affiliate system is. So the affiliate program, they pay you in increments of $100 or more. So if you get $100 through donations and bits, they pay you $100. Well, if you either stop streaming because you decide it's not for you but usually after you switch to or you get affiliate, a couple friends or family and stuff like that tend to donate to you to help you get started. But if you never reach $100, Twitch will never pay you. They keep that money for themselves. And if you either just stop streaming, you're never going to see that money and they just keep it. Or in my case, when I let them know that I was wanting to leave the affiliate program, they emailed me and said, okay, we removed you from the affiliate program, but you had $80 saved up that was earned through subs and bits, but because it was less than $100, we keep that. Have a nice day. Like, what the actual fuck? Yeah, you just turn on the bell for YouTube, I believe. Because streaming is considered an upload, I believe. But yeah, so the affiliate program is really a scam because the majority of Twitch affiliates don't find a lot of success because Twitch doesn't help you grow. So if you're only going to stream on Twitch or only stream on YouTube, you're better off on YouTube because the YouTube algorithm actually helps people find you. Even though I had been on Twitch for 4 years, the first few days that I switched over to YouTube, I was averaging 4 times the viewers, and 80% of which came from the YouTube algorithm. Oh, Rita, but so for this build, I was talking about, like, so a lot of people tend to use the Focus and Restraint on PC. For speeds, you definitely want the Obsidian and the COE. The Obsidian is giving you about 10 to 30% damage increase from Explosive Blast, But more importantly, you can respawn your mirror images constantly. So, like right here, I'll set up my mirror images to nuke, and then I'll teleport to the other side and respawn them immediately, so that I have full control over who they attack, so that I can nuke elites faster. And normally I was running twisters with rantlers, but because the mirror images cover such a large area when they attack, I don't even need the rantlers anymore, and I can run the mantles. And as long as you understand that hitbox mechanic I was talking about earlier, they have no choice but to attack what you want them to. You said you were struggling to survive in higher content, right, Rita? I could show you a rift real quick so you can see how tanky it is. I decided to switch off this variant because this variant only works in speeds where you can keep up the dominance passive. God, those mirror images are insane. But yeah, you need the obsidian for it because otherwise you're not casting the mirror images often enough. You only cast them like every 7 seconds, but as you can see, it doesn't take 7 seconds to kill things. And also, focus and restraint requires you to actually hit them, and that's annoying as shit. If you don't have a good squirts necklace, you could pull this off with the Traveler's Pledge Compass Frozen speeds, but it's less average damage, and a lot of the damage bonuses from Audacity. If you in the description of this, I do have all my speed GR setups for all my different builds that I've used. And I think I also have my Nephilim God DH in there and stuff like that for some reason. But if you click on that link for the Maxwell DG Planner, you can see exactly how I have all these builds spec'd out. Ooh, too far. There we go. Yes, it is, Reb. It is a lot faster with this setup. So, one, I'm running wormhole, so I can teleport twice. But the other reason is because I'm running the obsidian ring, and hitting an enemy with what's it called? With the obsidian ring actually bypasses the internal cooldown of teleport. Because it doesn't fully, you still have a cooldown technically, it's just less than 1 second, and the obsidian ring procs will reduce your cooldown by 1 second, so you can just super teleport everywhere. And for T16s, you could actually make this even more busted. Let me show you the Firebird's T16 build. You actually run the Calamity rune instead of Wormhole, and you run the Cosmic Strand in your cube. And if you have Calamity and Cosmic Strand, for some reason, the Calamity rune reduces the duration, or the animation time of teleport. So you can actually teleport 3 times per wormhole. And then also use the Obsidian Ring to bypass the cooldown requirement. It builds so fast, it's stupid. Yep, Cosmic Strand. OP as shit. I also used the Cosmic Strand on my Beer T16 build. Because it grants the effect of Wormhole. What it doesn't tell you is it also grants the effect of Wormhole while in Archon. So you can double teleport while in Archon to double your amount of speed. And with max cooldown reduction for my T16 build, I could teleport every 1/4 of a second. And to get the Cosmic Strain, you just got to go over here and you craft it, and then put it in your cube. Best speed item in the game for wizards. I think I need to update my D3 planner for my speed builds.
Need more time.
But they might be on there right now. Oh, that's my other weapon. I just got a new COE. It's garbage. Speed. I'm trying to get a replacement offhand with either resource cost or cooldown on it.
I can't afford that.
That new Squirts necklace I got though will actually help a lot for speeds. Doesn't have fire skill, but it's got crit cooldown. Where's my push setup? Right there. Normally, you would actually want to run rubies in your gear for this, but I don't want to put extra Paragon points into Vitality. So I'm not doing that right now. Yeah, you spec out your Templar with the Born set for 10% cooldown reduction for the Born's body, weapon, and grandeur. The Vigilante belt for 8%, the helmet for 25%, and then everywhere else just cooldown. Oh, and the 2-piece Crimsons, and then cooldown everywhere you can get it. And your Templar gets like 73% cooldown reduction and can cast that heal skill every 8 seconds. And that's where pretty much all of your healing comes from on this build. And right now I only have 1 life after each kill roll and 1 life per hit roll on my bracers. I had one with this one with life per hit, not that one. That one with life per hit, right there. But it doesn't have cooldown resource cost, and I found better use out of the damage reduction. Teleportation is just a combo between stim and phase shift. Change my mind. Oh, nice. Okay. 144. Yeah, I'll do a 144. That'll level up a couple of my gems. I think I have all my stuff set up properly. Yeah, I'm on hardcore, Brian. And I also dropped my death proc for blur on these setups. Oh, I don't like that my mirror image is... Yeah, hold on. I gotta fix that. My mirror image is on Y. I hate that. I haven't played this setup in a little bit. Rip the Empower. Rip the Dream. Oh, I passed mirror images. Shit. There we go. And I should have like 60 cooldown, 44 resource cost. Fuck! No! I gotta do it again! Why I do this? Oh, that's not what goes there. Here is Twisters. Here is Explosive Blast. Flame Blades. Duplicates. I don't know how you do it. I'd be so nervous. I'd stay at 120s. But Oh, that's why I went with Blur. So I was running like 50 something resource cost reduction, but I actually dropped it down to 44 for pushes so that I can get more cooldown. Because you want to make sure that you always can cast mirror images at least twice in one rotation, but also that you can always cast it at the start of fire rotation. And I was struggling to do that with like 50 something percent because you could cast it literally every 7 seconds or 8 seconds or whatever, and I'm not casting it perfectly on the dot every moment that I should. So I needed a little bit more leeway. But because I gave a damage reduction from that, I picked up Blur. And I found more use out of having Blur than having the third death proc. Oh, it's been a minute since I ran higher GRs. Yeah, see, you really don't take all that much damage most of the time. This is a 144, so it's not super, super high, but it's definitely not nothing either. Yellow doesn't want to walk over here. What did I drop for Blur? I dropped Unstable Anomaly. So I'm running Evocation, Elemental Exposure, Audacity, and Proc. Oh yeah, you would be running Conflagration, wouldn't you? So yeah, I dropped that. But I picked up more cooldown as a result and was able to face tank better. And you benefit more from face tanking properly and positioning the way you want to than you do from running Conflagration. Because positioning on this build is everything. I probably should have skipped this yellow, but I'm committed now. I don't like where he's positioned at all. There we go.
I don't have enough arcane power. Still waiting.
Oh, and also if you make sure you don't have thorns on your gear, it's super easy to drop on this build, and they'll show you that this run as well. I never have to teleport to town to drop kills, and it saves quite a lot of time by doing so. Yeah, it's definitely, especially understanding the mirror image mechanics, it adds a lot more depth to the build, and you have a lot more control over your burst damage and actually taking care of elites and stuff. And it spawns Oculus rings a lot easier. Oops, that's not where I want to be. Missed my fire rotation because of that. That's rude. So to drop kills on this build, you need to understand that the inactive tile system, which is that if something's more than 2 screens away from you, that tile is no longer being actively processed, and any dot damage that you have when something is inactive will go away. So the infinite burning effect here, like the Jade Harvester, or the Jade build, how it always does locust swarm damage, any ground effects that you leave on the ground, all of those will become deactive, and so you're no longer ticking for damage when you're trying to drop kills. Once I finish this power pylon, I'll show you me dropping real quick. But so all you do to drop your kills is you stop casting Disintegrate, and teleport about 2 screens forward, and anything burning will immediately stop. And then as soon as you're 2 screens away, you stop holding Explosive Blast, and you'll instantly drop kills and still have your Explosive Blast up. I'll do a fire rotation here and then I'll drop. Yeah, right here, I'm just... Oh, not that way. So right here, if I just stop attacking, I cannot drop kills. So I'm going to get my Explosive Blast procs. I'm going to teleport away without casting Disintegrate. And I'm just going to get that to get my defense. But now, because I went a little bit further away, I instantly drop kills. I went further than I had to. That's for sure. Well, you do so. The way you'll use that, instead of teleporting to town, which takes about 7 or 8 seconds and doesn't provide any other benefit, you're able to teleport 2 screens forward and scout out if there's anything worth positioning or using, and also possibly spawning a pylon location, and then just double back. Well, no, your follower does not proc or does not keep kill streaks going at all. It's only the dot damage from your Disintegrate. The only way your follower can keep your kill streak going is if he attacks things. Although you might have thorns on your gear, which will keep your kill streak going. If you have thorns on your gear and an enemy attacks you, that counts as you attacking them and will reset your 3-second timer. So you're not allowed to have any thorns on your gear anywhere for any build on console, unless it's specifically a thorns build. Having thorns on this build easily reduces how high you can push by like 1 to 2 greater rifts. Oh, you do have thorns? Yep, that'll get you. Gotta get rid of the thorns. It'll save you so much time. Thorns is unplayable. This pack's kinda angry. I'm not running Gogok, right? Okay, just wanted to double check. I haven't played this setup in a while. I wanted to make sure I didn't have that on anymore.
Need more time.
Oh, is that the only piece that has the thorns on there? Alright, Prep, I'll see you in a bit. Oh no! That's so unfortunate. Yeah, this is only 144, but even with only 44% resource cost reduction and blur, I'm tanking just fine. And all I lost by picking or dropping configuration was like 7% damage. Definitely not struggling too much to survive though. I mean, obviously in a 148 or higher, I'd be moving around a little bit more. Before I take that, let me drop kills and also see if there's anything. Nope, there's not going to be anything there. But like, that's a perfect situation of why it's important not to have thorns, so and to use this trick instead of teleporting town. So I can go 1 to 2 screens ahead, see if there's anything worth using the conduit on, and also instantly drop kills in the process instead of waiting 8 seconds or teleporting town, which takes 8 seconds, dropping and then teleporting in and having no knowledge of what's ahead of you. Also, sometimes you get interrupted out of the teleport with homing pads if you get knocked back, which is really upsetting.
I don't have enough arcane power.
Sucks having to replace all the gear with thorns, but it makes such a big difference, especially on builds that really struggle to drop kills, but even on ones that normally don't, it creates a problem dropping. I'm just standing for his boss. I'm committed. I really wanted that kill right there. can kill this real quick. I just got my Oculus. Oh, look at that damage. And right here, I don't even need to wait at the door. There's no thorns. And so that's all ground that you can cover as well. Yeah, exactly, Rita. Completely agree. Hate that shit. The other nice thing about this mirror image setup is that they do such a higher focus damage that the Twister build normally really struggles to kill trash, but it actually buffs your damage a lot, because not only because of the damage they deal, but also they spawn an Oculus ring a lot faster for you. Oh yeah, thorns on the follower doesn't matter either, just on you. This boss right here. I probably get a pylon at 98% though, because it's been a second since I got one. Oh, I probably shouldn't stand on those fire chains though. Any affixes I skip on elites? On pushes, I typically skip frozen. I also usually skip molten because the best way to maximize your damage is to actually aim directly at a wall with the elite on top of you, just like I am right here. And when they walk into the furnace that you set up on the wall, it actually does a lot of damage, because your twisters can stack, or one twister procs your 6-piece Firebirds bonus 12 times if the enemy is on the twister the entire time. So the best way to maximize your damage, especially on single target or on an enemy that you really need to prioritize killing, is to stack it against the wall and just have your back to the enemy, and they'll walk into the fire. You can't do that with molten, because the molten enemies have the ground effect that follows them, and that does a shit ton of damage. But anything that prevents me from doing this, I generally try to avoid. Fire chains too is usually bad in these situations. I probably should have checked for a pylon. Oh well. I don't like you, maiden. I'm gonna put you right there though.
Still waiting.
That's why I don't like you. Get over here. Oh, I really hate this bitch. There we go. This is a weird Drydock. How's it going, Mism? Yeah, that's why I don't like Maiden, because she does that shit. Get closer. Yeah, Infernal Maiden teleports like every 15 to 20 seconds and aggroes your Templar most of the time. So she is not the ideal boss for this build. Still not entirely in my fire, she's just close. Oh, she's in it now, which is fun. Oh, that kind of hurt. Wet dog.
My name is Ash.
Oh, really?
I am returning to town.
Nightmarish isn't a problem if you prioritize getting reduced duration and control effect rolls. So I have 2 rolls right now, my amulet and my helmet. And so Nightmare only lasts like a quarter of a second. It only walks me from like here to here, and then it's gone. Frozen only freezes me for like 1 second as well. So if you have the reduced duration of control effect rolls, they don't bother you too much. Well, no, that map's actually really good because of the doorway, and also right there beside the door is also really good. Desert actually has a lot of really good spots. Also, if it has the staircase, it's fantastic. Because if you're on the reverse Archon Twister Wizard, instead of trapping him in the door, you'll trap him in that little corner there to the right of the doorway. Oh, back to speeds for now, though. But yeah, seems tanky enough, right, Rita? Like, I'm not struggling too much, and I could pick up more resource costs to make it even tankier. Or with more Paragon, I could also drop Blur. I don't have... my Firebird's body doesn't have melee damage reduction or elite damage reduction on it. So I'm definitely missing a lot of key defense problems. There are definitely better maps. I agree. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. Can't argue with that. You'd be very surprised how much of a difference Blur makes too. Definitely try it with Blur. It sounds backwards to drop damage, but 17% damage reduction is a lot. And you actually increase your damage a ton by being able to position the way you want to. Because if you're fighting specifically only caring about the damage you're doing to that elite, if you have them right there. That was my follower bug. My follower procced because my mirror image procced. Nothing there could have done that damage. Hate that shit. But if you're perfectly twister stacking against the wall where your twisters are getting stuck, you're doing about 6 times the damage you normally would. But the only way you could do that once you get the elite there is have the defense to actually stand there. And if to reach that threshold, you only need to give up, say, 20% of your damage to be tankier, which will allow you to position better anyways. And also use Oculus Rings more, then it's definitely worth it. That concept is even more true if you're using squirts. There's yellow. And door stop right. I'm still missed that you do this on hardcore. Yeah, so far not to think so. This season I haven't died. I didn't die last season on my wizard either. I did kill a sport barb last season. But I hit 5,300 Paragon last season and no deaths. I think the last time I died in a season on a DPS character was season 20, and I actually died 3 times that season. I killed 2 witch doctors and a a support barb. Braziel's an asshole to my barbs. He usually kills stuff because I'm greedy. But yeah, I killed a witch doctor twice or 2 witch doctors in 2 days. I was so pissed. First one I lost a full set of augments, and the second one I lost like 6 augments. Poor Z-Barb. Yeah, I slapped it together and didn't bother putting an esoteric in it, and Braziel one-shot me in a 125, and then I face tanked the next one too to keep my DPS alive, and went poof.
Still waiting.
You'd be surprised at how easy it is to stay alive when you set your build up in with the mentality of functionality and defense, and you can actually increase your like I was saying, understanding the build and the defense thresholds allows you to actually increase your damage, especially on the wizard more so than other classes. Like last season, I did my 150 in 7 minutes and 32 seconds. Rank 1 on softcore with all their perfect primal gear from Reforge exploiting did a 150 in 7 minutes and 15 seconds or something like that. They only did 17 seconds faster than me, even though with like I don't Reforge exploit or revive my character on hardcore like a lot of people tend to. And so even though they had perfect gear and I was missing at least like 70 to 80% damage from compared to them from the differences on my gear, they were only 15 or 17 seconds faster than I was. Because defense and playstyle makes a huge difference, especially for the wizard. Like, people can't just go glass cannon on the wizard, especially if they're running squirts. They actually increase their damage by increasing their defense.
Need more time.
I really wanted to beat softcore last season. I got really fucking close. I had 7 boss spawns with a power pylon for boss, where I spawned the boss in under 5.5 minutes. Or sorry, under 5 minutes and 40 seconds. The fastest one was a 518 boss spawn with power. And if any of those bosses were Crusader King, Hamlin, or Saxtress, or even Bone Warlock, they would have been sub 6 minute 150s. I was so mad.
Need more time.
I really wanted to beat softcore last season. I might be able to do it this season, we'll see. Yeah, well actually I was playing the reverse Archon LED Twister. Exactly like I have it set up on the leaderboard right here. So you do reverse Archon with about 40 to 50% cooldown reduction, and you drop illusories for ice climbers, and you run the teleport rune. You're in Archon for 20, you're out of Archon for 12. And you go into Archon during cold rotation on the last second of your cold COE. So, and it snapshots the damage bonus from the 50 Archon stacks that you get. And your last second of cold COE, and your Death Wish bonus and all that. Because your Death Wish, Mantle of Channeling, and Sigil damages linger for 1 second after you stop channeling. So for that last second of COE, you're getting all of those bonuses, and because you're snapshotting the Archon stacks, which apply damage instantly, you get 4 times the damage for that 1 second. So you effectively, in a 12-second window, you're actually doing 7 seconds of convention damage, because you'll have your previous 50 stacks and your new 50 stacks. And you keep up squirts because you're doing 12-second cycles instead of 20. So by the time they're immune to CCs and not getting pulled by Rancelers and affixes are starting to hurt you too much, you've already gone into Archon and left. Oh, reverse Archon is way stronger than the normal one. It's probably about 2-3 greater stronger once you understand the 12-second playstyle for it. It's like a fucking truck. I ran 1.4 million life, and it dropped my Stricken for size because I was able to one-cycle Rift Guardians with power, if I had them positioned properly. And Oh my god, it was nasty. But you needed the proper amount of cooldown so that you can get into Archon without losing squirts. The fastest I could get with non-Archon was like 9.5 minutes, but I could have done under 6 minutes with reverse Archon if I would have gotten a better Rift Guardian on any of the clues that could have been it. It's way harder to run though. One of the most difficult builds to run in solo in my opinion. That's always the goal, Rita. I don't know if I'd be able to do it on PS4, especially with how many people use Save Wizard on PS4. I'm sorry that you have to deal with that shit. It's so obnoxious. It's one thing to deal with people who are using the Reforged exploit to get gear through bounties, and if they don't get it, they get their bounty materials back. Which people also use that on hardcore to revive their character, because they just remove their save data and get their character back. I've always made it a point not to play with anybody who does any of that. And we have a group of like 20 of us that all hold that same standard, that we won't play with cheaters or play with people who play with cheaters. Trying to encourage more and more people to play legitimately. But Save Wizard would be fucking impossible to compete with. Like, that shit's impossible. It's such a ridiculous advantage. What's the hardest Diablo boss? That depends on the build. Some bosses are a lot more annoying than others, and like some builds can't fight certain bosses, but that's usually the nature of the build's defense or the like how the build does damage.
Need more time.
Yep, because Save Wizard, I forgot all about that. Yeah, they can copy their save character so it registers them as one. Yeah, that shit would piss me off. Right now on hardcore, there's only one person that's ahead of me, and he has 1, 2. Oh, that's technically not primal, but that's fucking primal. So 1, 2, pretty much 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 primals essentially. Meanwhile, my weapon is only a 275 roll. I only have 37 crit damage on my offhand. My helmet's pretty much primal. I have a... Oh, I have a non-ancient fire crit travelers. Got a primal offhand. Got a good COE, but 4.5 crit chance. Missing a lot of damage that I could have. Yeah, exactly. Perfect primals one day into a season. Like, and not only like they're also getting a huge advantage from the fact that they have infinite keys, so they can just farm Paragon all day and never do rifts. And getting all those primals sooner means they don't have to. They get to farm efficiently from the get-go. Like I've seen some of the people on PS4, they get like 6,700 Paragon or so in a season. And like I got 5,300 last season, which was really difficult. And I could have pushed for 6,000, but I got lazy the last few weeks of the season and just started focusing on solo pushing. But yeah, the fact that they were able to spend more time just getting Paragon and have perfect gear and all that, like, no, that's just nuts. I just don't, that just doesn't sound fun to me. I feel like it's ruining the season for everybody else. End of the day, it's a game and everyone's gonna play the way they want to play it. and it's just a matter of perspective of if they're cheating, are they really getting first place, and just disregard them for it. Like some of the people that play on hardcore here, that cheat every season, they usually race to be the first one to 150 on hardcore, and they beat us this season by like 3 hours. And they messaged me bragging that they beat us there. I'm like, yeah, but you realize your DPS, both of your DPS cheated for all perfect primals, and you guys revive your characters. And they got all pissy about it. And then like deep down, you're gonna always know that we got here first. And I said, well, deep down, I'm gonna know that you guys cheated to get first, so you didn't really get it, now did ya? And it's like, a lot of the times they just want verification that, or like to legitimize what they're doing. Like, look how, like, oh, there's my follower bug again. See that? Nothing there did that kind of damage. That was my follower proccing because of my mirror images. It's like, you just want validation for what you're doing, but if you're cheating to do it, someone who's not cheating isn't going to find value in that. And some people are like, well, it's all skill what I'm doing, my perfect gear has nothing to do with it. And a lot of those people tend to just want to race to like do first 150 and then leave for the season, and that's fine. Like, end of the day, play the way they want to play. I just don't want to play with you if you're doing that, because I don't enjoy the game that way. Yep, I've noticed that, Rita. Who was it? I think it's like Anasia or something like that on YouTube. Does that every single season. Same thing with Bruno. Bruno's he was pushing Wizard a lot last season, but I watched one of his streams for a bit, and he had over a million, or just under a million, or like 9 million keys or some shit. Yeah, and so that's why I was looking. I always show my gear at the end of every solo push so people can see, one, how much area damage and gear and stuff I had, and also see that I don't have modded items or anything like that, and my gear isn't like perfect that you would have from Reforged exploiting and stuff. And every time I get good gear that I think I would even remotely possibly use for a build, I record literally everything. So if someone's like, you clearly cheated, I'll be like, what item did I cheat for? I bet you I have the clip for it, and I'll send it like 20 clips of them, like, here's this one and this one and this one, this one. What else do you think I cheated for, you know? Because I like to hold myself to a higher standard of, I don't cheat, and I want you to make sure, I want to make sure that you know, or that you know that, you know? And I was like, but at some of the PS4 videos, I would see that they would show their stat, their crafting tab, as well as their gear. I'm like, why are they showing their crafting tab? And then I figured out a week later that it was because Save Wizard's giving them infinite mats and stuff.
Not ready yet.
I've never thought to do that on Xbox, because we simply don't have that. But I started doing that in a lot of my clears too, just in case people mistake it for, or think that PS4 and Xbox have the same thing. Lost all motivation after that day. Yeah, and that's the shitty thing, is like, it literally just ruins the experience for other people. Like, some people really just care about like it's always nice to see your name at the top there, but you also gotta take the perspective of, people are gonna know that what they have there is fake as fuck. It doesn't matter at the end of the day.
Still waiting. Need more arcane power.
I need a little bit more resource cost reduction so my Tega falls off less. That's not too big of a deal because it's not falling off too often. Oh, it's not an elite there. Oh well. about being that. They almost feared me into it. Yeah, I'm gonna... Oh, never mind. I was gonna let them fear me so I could see how long it lasts for, and then they died. If I didn't have the CC reduction, that probably would have procced me. Yeah, Sand Leopard was one of the people I saw doing that. I'm like, why is he showing his fucking crafting tab? And then I figured it out. Yeah, I think it was in Asia. They did a 145 on their LOD Twister, which isn't bad. They could definitely do a lot higher though if they understood how to play the build with the COE. But they're struggling to stay alive because they don't understand the mechanics behind it. But so, in the middle, I noticed they were 3,600 Paragon or so, which I'm like, how the hell did they reach that so far this season? And then they opened up their inventory, and it showed that they had over 900 billion or 800 billion gold. I'm like, yep, that's safe with it right there. What are Paragon exactly? So every time you level up, you get 1 point that you can put into either your intelligence or your vitality, whatever your main stat is for the build. Vitality is health or intelligence is damage. And every point of intelligence is an additive 1% multiplier to your total build. So if you get 1,000 Paragon points, you can put that into 5,000 intelligence. And right now, since I'm at 26,000, if I got another 1,000 Paragon, I would essentially get to 31,000 main stat, which is 19% more damage than I currently have. So it's 19% damage that you're gaining, which has absolutely nothing to do with your gear. It's free damage and free defense from leveling up. The more Paragon you get, the more defense and damage you're getting, essentially for free. The value of it diminishes the higher level you get because it's an additive pool. So so like right now, like I said, that's 19% damage. But let's say I was at 35,000 intelligence and I went to 40,000. That 19% is now only 14% because the pool is larger. But still, it's free value. More will always be better. XP farm, get Paragon, invest in intellect, exactly, while also trying to improve your gear. But you get to min-max it further because you could actually use that to your advantage. So if you have, let's say, 1,000 intelligence, which is on my weapon, which is only worth like, at really low intelligence, that's actually like a 10% damage increase if I'm at like 10,000 main stat. But if I am at 26,000 main stat, it's only worth like 3%, give or take. So if I got a perfect weapon, I could drop the intelligence roll for a 10% damage roll and get more value. Because I was higher Paragon. And so you get, the more min-max you get with your gear, the more you can use that Paragon system to your advantage and min-max your build to its fullest, biggest potential. And that's why I'm running the content that I am right now, is because it gets you, you want to do as high of a greater rift that you can in probably about 2.5 to 4 minutes XP wise. And every time you complete a greater rift, you get 12, it's either 12 or 13 legendaries, or set items, which, so you have a decent chance of getting gear upgrades as well. And this is also leveling up my legendary gems, which I can use to augment my gear to get essentially free Paragon through my gear as well. Oh no, I spend my stuff at Kadala. I haven't done pretty much any bounties this season other than for getting really good Crimson and Augils pieces. Yeah, this is just the luck I've had. I don't usually do bounties to get gear upgrades until at least 3,500 or 4,000 Paragon. And even then, I usually don't get anything. Like last season, I spent 2,500 bounty mats to get a primal cold crit squirts. And then I spent another like 2,000 to 2,500 mats to get a usable COE. And that in total took me over like 100 hours to get those two upgrades. It was a struggle. But this season, I got a primal crit area squirts for my wizard the other day in speeds. My gear is actually really good, other than my weapon. My weapon is hot garbage. My Twister Wizard's got some pretty damn good gear. But I've gotten a Primal Obsidian. My COE is pretty much primal. My Crimson gear is obviously really good because you can craft that. My gloves are pretty damn good, only 37 crit damage though. My amulet, my Traveler's is fire crit non-ancient, and this one's crit cooldown now that I just got like an hour ago. So like my gear is actually pretty damn good. My weapon is the most notably bad one. Oh, nice, Rita. You gotta love that. Oh, okay, Fred. I appreciate you hanging out. It's always nice to see people take an interest in this game and always hanging around to chat and everything else. This game has a lot of depth to it. A lot of goes behind like understanding how your build works and the math behind what you're doing so that you can maximize potential and get better at it. Because a lot of the things in this game, they simply don't tell you. I'm so glad I figured that out with the mirror images yesterday. Actually getting them to attack makes such a big difference. I swear they were fucking me off so much where it's like, hey guys, get them, and then they just run away. They're like, I don't see them. It's like they have nearsighted vision. They can't see what's not directly in front of their face. That's what I'm just gonna start telling people is their mirror images are essentially blind. They need to like get right up against them and squint their eyes so that they can see. They need glasses. I haven't ever written guides. I just started using the D3 planner to put them together there, but my biggest complaint with it was that I couldn't write notes for it. I never even considered making actual guides on there. I didn't know how to go about doing that. But that's why I was doing the D3 planners and just recommending them and explaining mechanics to it through streams and videos and stuff like that. Comments. Oh, there goes my follower proc. Did you see something that should have procced me there? I didn't. Because this game's a fucking lie. Oh, Brev, I love Blue Ghost. Blue Ghost is such a wonderful person. Aw, thank you so much, Brev. I love these mirror images, dude. Their damage is ridiculous. Yeah, this Diablo 3. I think it's actually on sale right now. Isn't it?
Not ready yet.
You always want to buy the Ultimate Edition. I think that's the only version they actually sell in the marketplace now. I'm pretty sure it's on sale or was on sale just recently. I would wait for it to go on sale, and it's usually on there for like 20 bucks. Diablo fans, okay. I'll have to do that. Hey Matt, how's it going, buddy? Nice to see you. Ancient Ice Climbers, hopefully those are good. I need ones with armor. Oh, I thought it said Ice Climbers, I lied. I was suggesting actually to apply for max for... Oh! That's actually a good idea. Thank you, Rita. I'll have to try that. Oh, it's not on sale right now? Gotcha. If you could find a physical copy of the game, it'd be way cheaper. But I hate physical copies. Yeah, Rita, I was actually hoping that you streamed or something, because I've been hoping to talk to you the last few days or so, watching all your videos. That's why I've been in your comments so much, because I really wanted to pick your brain about some of these things and see if you've delved into any of these mechanics. Hold on, I'll be right back one second. I'm actually gonna switch to farming keys for it because I think I only have like 13 keys. I need my Avarice Band, that's what it was. Oh, my stash is almost full again, I hate it.
Need more time.
Oh no, Rib. By the way, the Templar thing worked amazing. 300 guns of it, no deaths, and spawned the boss with 2 minutes left. Oh no! Ever so useless! Share with the poor console user. That's why I started streaming on Diablo more, was because a lot of my buddies are like, nobody really covers console the way it needs to. And I think you can do that. I'm like, okay. Oops, I proc. I have my death proc on though. Yep. Oh no, death. Focus, no death. Oh, that's okay. I have a second proc. And I only proc because I didn't have any of my defense bonuses yet. Also, I have enough backup here that I wouldn't be hit too hard from dying. I just don't want to, you know? Ember's a lot less difficult with the mirror image twister variant. Still sucks though.
Need more time.
I'll just. Also, Deathmat, how you doing today, buddy? Nice to see ya. That shouldn't proc me, yeah. Tanky as fuck.
Need more time. That is too expensive.
I actually don't have too much of a problem with Vesalius. He takes longer, but at least once you get him there, he'll pretty much stay put. He hits like a truck, though. Definitely one of my least favorites.
Still waiting.
On this setup, I'm using that Cosmic Strand with Calamity trick that I was showing you earlier, Rita, and it's actually really good for the Shantoto stacks, because every time you teleport, you'll get one Shantoto stack and stun the nearby enemy, so I'll be able to get my my Shantoto stacks at the start of the rift without proccing while I have like no defense.
Need more time.
Usually I don't because I'm just lazy. Typically I would do that if I'm really trying to focus on keys. I'll do that, and every like third or fourth rift I'll stay. But usually I could actually speed up the rift by, if I'm paying just a little bit of attention, go into Archon with like 15 seconds before the rift closes, so that I could start the next rift with Shantoto stacks or Archon stacks. And also, where was I going with that? Shoot, I can't think of it. Oh, and because I'm running Explosive Worship, any shrines that I get last for 10 minutes.
Not ready yet.
And the Empowerment and Movement Speed shrines significantly speed up rifts for this build. So I keep those going.
Still waiting.
Also, lazy.
Need more time.
If I don't go into Archon though, I could also use it to my advantage for this. So like right there, I have 6 Shantoto stacks lingering because I was channeling while I went into Archon. And so that's going to be a huge damage bonus for the start of the next rift if I don't go into Archon to get the initial stacks. So now I have 2 choices. I can either go into Archon right when I get into the rift with no defense and get the 6 stack bonus there, or what I'll probably do instead is when there's about 15 seconds left or so, I'll go into Archon, and now I'll come out of Archon right near the start of the rift, get my initial 50 Archon stack bonus for more damage and defense, and get my Shantoto stacks at the start. Yeah, the God DH is really nice for speeds. Thing zooms.
Still waiting.
See, now I have overlapping Archon stacks for the start.
Need more time.
You can do that with resetting the lobby, but it only saves you like 20 seconds or so, and you gotta break down from time to time anyways.
Still waiting.
I'm told for that. Fuck off.
Not ready yet.
I've never liked any of the Necro builds. I think it's mostly because I hate Blood Rush. It's so clunky. I feel like every skill in the Necro, they just created the longest animations ever.
More time.
Drives me nuts.
Not ready yet. Need more time.
That'd be easy, right? Let's go the wrong way. I think it's down there. Yeah, it's down there.
Not ready yet.
This setup has really good movement too, and it's super tanky. That Calamity for double teleports and Archon makes a big difference. I hated this setup before I started using Concert Strand.
Still waiting.
Would never play that right though? Yeah, I was gonna say Necker's a little on the squishy side for speeds too though.
You look like you could use a drink on that. Need more time.
Yeah, little on the squishy side. That's the big ouchie.
Still waiting. Need more time.
The only downside to this build is it only attacks once per second.
Not ready.
With that way with force. And so it's not like a Bell Monk where you can stack attack speed or Echoing Fury, balancing, or Flying Dragon or something like that, and also hits a bigger AoE. But it has the mobility of the Bell Monk for sure. And it's also tankier with also dropping Wizard gear. That's pretty much all I play. I've pushed Demon Hunter and Witch Doctor in the past too. I much prefer the Wizard though most of the time. Down back. Yeah, it says don't play this on hardcore.
Not ready yet.
I definitely like this Veer setup more than the Firebird setup though. Firebirds feels clunky in T16. Especially when you're trying to pick stuff up. If an enemy comes up to you, you have to hit them with Disintegrate and then try to hit them with Twisters or one of your other skills. And it's just really clunky and annoying.
Still waiting. Not ready yet.
Impale is one of my favorite builds of the game. That's such a fun build. It reminds me of the Tal Rasha Meteor build back in the day. Back in like season 12. Well, season 11 and 12 I think was when I pushed Impale and Tal Rashas. God, those were so much fun.
Need more time. Not ready yet.
Yeah, my goal this season, I was debating on whether to push the Witch Doctor Wizard and DH again, but I think I'd rather push all 6 leaderboards on the Wizard. Then I don't have to farm bounties to get any of the pieces because I'll get them all just while playing. Aw, that's rough, Rita. I hate when I do that.
Still waiting.
The only downside about this, with the new leaderboard changes, is how much more stash space it takes. Yeah, that'd be really nice. The meteors are actually pretty strong on the Firebirds too, but the mirror images don't cast them often enough. They each only cast it once per rotation. But it procs the 6-piece bonus up to 7 times if it can actually hit the enemy every time.
Not ready yet. Still waiting.
How many keys do I have now? Any tips on aiming with Norsar? I have no idea where the bullet goes on the reticle. Your biggest problem with Norsar is leading your shots. Because the railgun has projectile speed, or isn't hit scan. It's projectile based, so you have to lead your shots a little bit. So that's the biggest thing getting used to. It does just shoot right down the line. It's just that thing by the time the bullet reaches there, it isn't always, the enemy isn't always right where it was.
Are you ready?
Need more time.
Oh, we would not have liked if Blizzard was the best, or if the strongest build though, Rita. The Blizzard skill lags out consoles so badly. Like, people think that that Firebirds is bad now. I don't know if you probably played last season, where the Shadow Clones would cast Blizzard and the game would literally freeze.
Need more time.
It would be doing that on steroids. We would be getting single-digit frames while on solo. It would have been so inflatable. Skill looks awesome. Skill also breaks the game.
Still waiting. Not ready yet.
Yeah, the Shadow Clones, the Wizard Shadow Clone caused more lag than the rest of them because of the Blizzard skill.
Need more time.
We also had the problem that the Arcane Orb that the Shadow Clones threw were projectiles, and if a Derv or Sandrolly reflected them, it could instant kill anyone on your party. So we actually had to avoid spawning the Wizard Shadow Clone by having the Wizard go to a screen and a half away, so they aren't within Nemesis Bracer range, or the Shadow Clone range, and spawn the Wizard would run away, we would nem the pylon, and then the Wizard would come back, and everyone else would have a clone, but the Wizard wouldn't, because the Wizard clone was the only one that was killing people. Your clone would throw a frozen orb, and then everyone could instantly die. It wasn't so bad in solo and 2-man. In 4-man, it was horrible. Yep, hardcore problems right there. Exactly. I was so happy that season was over. I couldn't stand Shadow Clones.
Many enough.
Need more time. Still waiting.
Right?
Need more time. Still waiting. Not ready yet. Still waiting.
That's yours since they didn't do much anyway. Well, the thing about that was the shadow clones lagging the game for pushes actually helps because on console the game is bugged to where frame drops actually increase your damage. Because when the game's lagging, you can actually, the game slows down, but your inputs do not always slow down with it. This is especially noticeable on the Twister Wizard, to where if your game is running at half the speed, your wizard can actually spawn up to twice as many twisters in the same amount of time. So it actually increases your attack speed by slowing down the game. And that's how people, especially on softcore, get such insane times, is because the frame lag is actually increasing their damage. We don't generally do that on hardcore, one, because it's sketchy as shit, and two, because it's terrifying. Or it's really annoying. So activating the shadow clones on pushes actually increases your damage for that. Yeah, I noticed a lot of people on software doing that too.
Not ready yet.
For Xbox. I remember the rank 1 2-man clear last season actually played on a mobile hotspot for the 2-man host so that it would increase their damage for that, and that's just not fun. I don't see the appeal in that whatsoever. Also, it feels like an exploit to me. So I try and, like, we were testing how to maximize it last season and then just didn't really use it because it just didn't feel right. And like I said, not fun.
Need more time.
Yep, and it's not efficient for Paragon. That's why we don't do 4-man speeds. It's actually the fastest XP in the game for console is actually to run 3-man because of you only lose about 10 to 20% of your time to frames instead or frame drops instead of like 40 to 70% of your time, and you're getting faster gem ups and gear. So even though you get an extra 10% XP from the 4th player, you're getting a lot less efficiency everywhere else and clearing about the same content.
Still waiting.
So when I'm trying to calculate XP per hour, I always go off real time, not game time, because that makes a very big difference. Usually a 3-minute rift is 3-minute in-game time rift for speed is about a 3.5 to 4-minute real time. So I'll usually run a stopwatch or like 5 to 10 rifts in a row to see how much the build or the group play is actually reducing frame drops by,
Still waiting.
to try and figure out how efficient it is to actually run them. We were trying 150 the other day with Firebirds, 2 Firebirds wizards, and we were 2.5 minutes in, and it was 14 minutes real time, and we said fuck this and rolled it. It would have been under a 9-minute clear in game time, but we just fucking rolled it, and I put on my unaugmented reverse Archon Twister, and we did an 8-minute GR 149, and it was 14 minutes real time, so still long, but mostly because the enemies on screen were alive for much longer because my damage wasn't there. 50 to 70% time loss to frame drops is about average for 4-man pushing while trying to reduce lag. But yeah, so instead of taking about 7 times longer, it took about, or 7 to 12 times longer, it took twice as long, or just shy of twice as long. Also, the LOD Twister is a way better trash kill than the Firebirds is. Getting a 6.5 minute boss spawn to 149 without augments is pretty fucking nice.
Need more time.
Are you talking about the Firebirds? Because with the Firebirds, you can actually cause frame drop in solo. The game, this build has so many calculations with the 6-piece proc that it actually causes lag if you're running area damage. It's not super noticeable, but running area damage in a solo push would increase your damage for that reason. I haven't bothered doing it yet, just because I don't really like slowing my game down. But when I'm trying to solo push later, it definitely doesn't hurt to have your area damage in, because it's not like in group play where it lags the shit beyond belief. And I don't know if PS4 has this. I know Xbox used to have it. Oh, then yeah, he's got something modded for sure. Xbox used to have modded cosmetic wings that you could get in non-season and bring into seasons that would have increased damage on them. And PS4 might have something like that still. Where, especially with Save Wizard, they might have been able to mod cosmetic items to have a hidden or to damage bonus. Like for example, wings that have like 10,000% increased weapon damage. And that wouldn't show up on the leaderboard at all. Exactly, yeah, it wouldn't be anything like that. That has to be some form of mod. Like, there's just no way. The build doesn't have that potential right now. I just said a lot about this game, and I can't think of any way that he could have done that. But yeah, I don't know for sure. That's just a running theory that there's very likely modded cosmetics available on PS4 that people could be abusing. I know that was a thing back in like season, I want to say 12 on Xbox and PS4, I think. I don't know the extent of what Save Wizard can do though, if they're able to code items. Because that might be a way you could do it. Or if they found a way to code modded items into seasons. Like if they could create, say, a Thunder Fury with ungodly stats. They could actually put it on their follower, and their follower could cheat for them. Someone just trying to do that on Xbox last season in softcore and got caught. So there was that glitch last season with them starting the season early and then accidentally putting some people in the non-season, allowing them to smuggle in modded items. Someone tried to pass off as legit and trying to be smart about it by doing just like 1 to 2 graders ahead of the other people each time. But what they would do is they put all the modded jewelry and stuff that they brought in from off-season, and they gave it to their Templar, so their Templar was one-shotting everything in the Rift. And then would AFK when they get to the Guardian, so that they could get like a 14-minute clear, so it looked like they just barely beat it. But really, they just had a cakewalk letting their follower one-shot everything. But the way they actually got caught was, so the Whirlwind build runs Wind Shear and Bloodbath, or the other way around it is I think there's a rune on Battle Rage or something. There's two different ways you get resources. I don't remember the two ways that you can do it. But the guy accidentally was running the fire rune on Whirlwind and had no way to regen resources, and yet completed a solo push. And there was no way he could have actually played the build, with just no resource regen and completed the rift that he did. And people called him out on it, and he admitted it. Gotta appreciate the people's creativity. Exactly. Like, if you're that smart, just learn how to play the game properly and compete to actually do what you can do, not what mods can do for you. Like, kudos to him for really thinking outside the box with it. At least you're a smart cheater, but your morals suck. You know? Like, what a fucking guy. He was one of the people that did group clears in solo. Oh, yeah. Yeah, either Cody and modded items, possibly with Save Wizard, or finding a way to bring group play into solo with that and somehow not showing their name up on the leaderboard. That actually might not be as hard as I think it would be. So if I'm it'd be hard to know for sure because it's already buggy that they're bringing on the solo leaderboard. But I think if you look right here, it says inspecting players, and it says the players that actually were in the rift. Like right here, it says other party members, Crevette, and Guns. I think right there, it would normally say in the solo leaderboard the same thing, the people that they were with, because of that exploit with Save Wizard. But I'm curious, would those other names show up? If so, you start the rift, and then I think they join your lobby after you've started the rift and follow you, and then just walk right in the door because they have the same player ID. But if they join you mid-rift like that and play out the rift, but leave the lobby before the Rift Guardian is killed, when it says rift cleared, that's when it should identify whether or not there were other people in the lobby. That's what I thought. But so if they leave the lobby before the Guardian dies, would it still show up the other player names? And I don't think that it would. I'm assuming that the leaderboard snapshot is happening when that happens. I know that on hardcore for here in group play, if you actually, yeah, that would have to be it. That would have to be it because we've actually fucked that up before. So if somebody procs and leaves the lobby, and then wasn't in there when the Guardian dies, it'll be a 4-man clear, but it will only show the 3 of us on the leaderboard that were in the lobby. That's gotta be what it is. So I'm 99% sure what they're doing is he's just having the other people back out before the Guardian dies, so that it looks like a solo clear. I'm pretty sure that's what was happening, if I'm not mistaken. Dom and Guns aren't on right now. I was gonna say I could go test this because I don't think I've really pushed in 3-man. Hey boy, it's nice to see ya. It's going well. I'd have to test that later when my buddies are on, because I haven't pushed high on the 3-man leaderboard, so I could actually test that for you. And I'll get back to you on that. Because all you'd have to do is do 1 rift higher than what you've done before, and then just have them leave. Have one person leave and see if they show up. Because they would get their dem-ups and everything, but I'm pretty sure they don't get a spot on the board if they're not in the lobby when it clears. That's much more likely what's going on than modding items in the seasons, because I don't think Save Wizard has that capability. Save Wizard can do a lot, but I don't think it can do that.
Still waiting.
Either way, it looks like some bullshit. Like, clearly they're not doing a 5-minute rift, and people are gonna be like, yeah, that guy cheated his ass off. But some people that really don't know a lot about the game, that's the problem with people cheating, is some people really don't know much about the game and play a lot more casually, and they look at these people on the board and they're like, wow, he's got really good gear, he must play a lot, or look how fast they did that clear, and not realize that they're cheating. You talked about lag increasing damage, right? If a player starts a solo rift, invited a lot of people during the rift, started crafting using tornadoes everywhere. Yes. Yes, it would, Matt. You could actually do this in your own solo lobby too. I don't know, like this sounds like way more work than it would ever be worth to do it this way, but you could technically achieve this in solo, because if you drop items on the ground, the game keeps it stored in RAM until your RAM gets filled, and then will delete items to make up more space. Rita made a video the other day that showed a perfect example of this, where the progress globes on the ground got despawned because Rita went away and cleared out some more enemies and fought some stuff for a while and then came back. But because the game's RAM was already filled, it started deciding what was unimportant information and started deleting it. The same thing happens if you drop items in town. Like, you can go over to one of the blacksmith or one of the shops here, find one that has a bunch of white items, and then drop a couple hundred white items on the ground to create a shit ton of lag, and then it'll keep the game at max RAM during the rift while deleting more and more white items to create space, and every time that happens it creates more lag. The easier way to do this though would be to you start a rift and somebody joins your lobby and would go into a cow level and just group up the entire map and keep proccing area damage with, say, a whirlwind barb, and that would lag the shit out of the game and keep it a consistent lag frame drop. But again, that's like that. So that's a way that people could, quote unquote, legitimately solo or do group play in a solo leaderboard using that lag mechanic. The other way those people could help you cheat would actually be they group up all the enemies, and if you get at a point during your solo rift that you are running out of double damage, you would be able to port back to town, teleport to your teammate, and instantly kill everything to get 2.5 minutes of double damage. Sketchy as shit. Definitely outside of the realm of soloing a leaderboard.
I can't afford.
But if people really want to cheat, that I'm assuming that would work out. I probably shouldn't be telling people this. God. All these motherfuckers are gonna be able to watch this stream like, I watched this stream and they taught me how to cheat. You know? When they have some skills that are off the odd passive gear rolls, and then people start to exactly, Rita.
Not ready.
But I think it's more important, like, that people are aware of. These are things that people could very well be doing. It's definitely against the spirit of the game, that's for sure. Although I don't know if when you went back to town if it would despawn your follower or not, because there's someone technically in a group with you. Because normally if you enter town, your follower despawns if you have other people in the group. There's actually a way around that for T16 so that you can get your follower and mate bonuses while you're in group play for the host. So if you start the regular rift and
Still waiting.
your follower's in there with you, as long as you don't go back to town, if other people join your lobby, your follower will stay in the rift with you until you go back to town. So you just stay in the rift, clear everything out, and you're going to get all your emanate bonuses. The guardian spawns, you get your keys, and then everyone else leaves the lobby before you either turn it in or roll it. And because you never left the rift, your follower stayed with you. It won't show them in the top left, but you'll go to party details and it'll still show all their stuff and you'll get all your emanates. Exactly, people are gonna find this shit anyway. And if if anything, teaching people how to cheat better is just going to be like, well, now the cheaters have one more annoying thing that they have to go all their way to do instead of just learning how to play the game. And they're gonna learn how to cheat better against each other, because I already disregarded what the fuck they do on leaderboard. I don't give a shit. You know? Yeah, on console or on Xbox, it's even easy to identify that people are cheating with the Reforge exploit for gear. And Save Wizard just makes it that much easier. Yeah, Rita, that won't happen though if you're... So that the bug where your follower items disappear only happens if someone joins your lobby and then you walk around to auto-dismiss your follower. If you manually dismiss your follower, that bug will never occur. So you, as long as you go to party or followers, click Y to dismiss and click A. After someone joins, your follower will not lose their shit. If they spawn and then you walk around and then their follower says goodbye and you get a notification that says your follower left, that's when you can lose your shit. So always, always, always manually dismiss.
That is too expensive.
Embrace.
Need more time.
And so that's why I was saying you don't go to town with your follower if you have other people join in T16 to get your emanate bonuses in T16. Because it will only auto-dismiss your follower if you bring her into town. Yeah, or don't be the host, exactly. I'm almost always the host at our lobbies though, because especially for speeds, double damage always spawns on the last player in the lobby. But the first player, or the host, always has the best connection. So naturally, especially with the wizard teleport, with how much it bugs out a bit in group play, the host is always going to be ahead of everybody, but double damage is going to spawn on the last player in the lobby who is moving slower because of lag, or laggy teleports. So the way we do it is, we have one person make a lobby, and everyone joins except for me. I join as the last player. I'll be either, if you're in 3-man, I'm player 3. If I'm in 4-man, I'm player 4. And then everyone except for me and the host backs out. And then they roll the lobby to me, so I'm player 4 and host, so that I'm always having the best connection to be in front of the group and pre-grouping if I'm running Wranglers, or just so that double damage always spawns in front of the group. And that way no one ever has to backtrack to get double damage. I just need to be mindful to call out that double damage is spawning so that people can be near me when it happens, or to purposely not take it when it spawns so that other people can pick it up. And by doing so, if you're doing 3 to 3.5 minute rifts, you can always complete them before running out of double damage and never have to drop kills in between floors, speeding up your speed GRs by about 15 to 35 seconds. Which, if you're saving 20 seconds in a 3-minute rift, that's 200 seconds instead of... Yeah, we'll say a 3-minute rift you're doing in 3 minutes instead of 320. that would be 11% more XP per hour, but usually it's actually more than that.
I can't think of anything else.
I'm glad to hear, Matt. That's why I started streaming this game in the first place, was because like there's so much that you can learn from other people. Like I learn a ton bouncing ideas back and forth with people and testing the mechanics myself and everything. Because nobody really tests what we do on console. Aw, it's a 78, but it's no crit, you bitch. I got a decent crit the other day with research cost at a crit chance, but I would love crit. Also, I got this Karini the other day, which made me sad. Where are you? This one. 63%. Damn it. I was so sad. You need to write guides. I definitely need to start doing that.
Still waiting.
I have been told this. But yeah, if player 4 is spawning the double damage, but they can't stay in front of the group because they're laggier, either one of your DPS wastes time by backtracking to pick up double damage, or you have to drop floors in between rifts because someone's always running out of double. And it takes anywhere from like 2 to 7 seconds every time you try to drop between floors. And if someone tries to drop and fucks it up, that wastes up to like 10 or 15 seconds because they're like, shit, I didn't drop. And then people have to stop moving forward and killing things, or possibly teleport to town to backtrack it. And it just makes it way more frustrating and sloppy. Definitely pisses me off when that happens. So I just was trying to think of a way to remove that from the problem. And so that's like speed GRs, you don't want to, like, you always want to find what you can do in 3 to 3.5 minutes. Never, like, the worst rift should never take more than 3.5, and the best rift should be about 2 minutes to 2 minutes and 10 seconds, and that way, no matter what, you're not running out of double, so you save that time. Bring the gospel. Console rise confirmed.
Not ready yet.
For streaming and YouTube, I've always primarily been known for Titanfall, because I've played that game religiously since it came out, and I also speedrun one of the game modes on there called Frontier Defense. It's a PvE survival mode, and I'm one of the top runners in the world for that. But so I've always been known for my Titanfall stuff, but I've always loved Diablo, and I've played it since it came out on console. And I've always been back and forth between the games in terms of which one that I played. But I never really streamed this game because I never really thought people would really watch it because I'm on console. But I'm glad I started streaming it because I'm definitely finding more and more people that are also playing console and also that are learning from the stuff I'm doing on here. I got a question. Do you run Promise to Glory, Blind Faith, and meta pushes? If so, who wears them? In pushes this season, yes. In pushes last season, no. Because last season we were doing triple support with the single wizard, and you could easily drop kills. This season, you do want to run Promise of Glory because it's really hard to drop kills on the Firebird wizard. Whenever your trash killer's Karini doesn't fuck you. And there's actually 2 variants that you can do. There's the Barb with the Blind Faith Promise of Glory. And then I actually created a Nephilim Glory Z Demon Hunter day before yesterday. If you click on the D3 Planner, my Speed Greater build that I have in the description, I accidentally put it in that one for some reason. So it's there. But you do the Nephilim Demon Hunter. You do the 3-piece God set with the 2-piece Crimsons. Actually, I can show it here on screen. Derp derp. So it's right here. So you have the 3-piece God set and the 2-piece Crimsons with the Oculus, Obsidian, and Grandeur still. And then everything else is pretty standard, but instead of doing the Leoric's Crown and the like Wraps of Clarity for more defense, you would do the Achilles Body and the Promise of Glory in the queue with the Nems and the Blind Faith. And it normally doesn't spawn all that much Nephilim Glory with Strafe, running like Drifting Shadow and stuff, but you actually run the 5th rune Demolition, which spawns a bouncy grenade for a 9-yard radius, and that shits out globes way better than the barb ever could. It spawns like 6 of them in 20 seconds. I think I actually saved it on non-season. As soon as I finish this rift, I'll hop on my non-season DH and show you it. I bet you're just running the wrong rune on your strafe. Oh, you run your DH exactly like that anyway? Yeah, let me show you this in just a second. Normally you would actually want to run Icy Trail so that your strafe procs the Ice Blink as well without you having to worry as much about multi-shotting in speeds. But with Demolition, I'm telling you, it shits out globes. It's fucking ridiculous. It's fantastic. I just kind of slapped mine together for non-season because I was testing it the other day and I didn't have a DH in seasons for it. If you're ready, Drifting Shadow, there's your problem. Okay, let me show you this real fast. It's fucking awesome. So I'll show you Drifting Shadow first. And so if you multi-shot to proc your Ice Blink, the mobs can no longer spawn Nephilim Glory. But you also need to make sure you have no other CCs on your build because those cock block your ability to spawn Nephilim Glory. But let's go to Festering Woods. And I'll spawn some Nephilim Glory. You'll see one probably here in just a second as long as I'm not multi-shotting. The problem with this setup is your strafe only hits a single enemy. I have Promise Glory, yep. So you'll see the blind. You turn off damage numbers, that might be easier to see. Yep, there's one double. Not very often, but you'll get like one every 20 seconds. It should lag more because you're proccing more damage bonus. If you're not running area damage, it shouldn't lag too much more. But so now, hold on, let me run out of double damage real quick. Just so you can see how quickly I fill up 2.5 minutes. I'll be right back while that drops. I'm gonna use the bathroom real fast. You're gonna love this. Alright, so out of double damage, perfect. Yeah, let me show you this. So I'm actually gonna pull up a timer so we can see just how many double damage globes I'm getting in this small amount of time. It's so ridiculous. Alright, so timer. Put on demolition, right? Yes.
Not ready yet.
Should be getting a lot more. Where are they at? I might have changed something on my build.
I'm still waiting.
What did I do to my build? Because I was spawning a lot more yesterday.
I need more time.
There's one. Yeah, that took way longer than it should have. What did I do to you? Something's not right. No secondary CCs. What did I do? I'll figure it out.
I'm still waiting.
Maybe it just needs more density too. It shouldn't need much more density. I was spawning more than enough even without
I need more time.
Alright, there's one. I was spawning them like crazy yesterday though. What did I do to my build? Oh, there's another.
Not ready yet.
That's two. Shouldn't have to do with momentum stacks because that doesn't give you attack speed. There's three.
Need more time.
There's four. There's five.
Not ready yet.
Was it really the momentum stacks? That shouldn't have been.
I'm still waiting.
That definitely shouldn't have anything to do with momentum, but there's six. Now it's spawning globes. There's seven.
Not ready yet. Need more time.
There's it. Oh, that wasn't one.
I'm still waiting.
That don't make no sense. There's another one.
Need more time.
Yeah, the problem with drifting shadow is it only hits one enemy, so it can't proc multiple, or it can't hit multiple enemies. Yeah, this is definitely spawning enough now. It seriously might have been the momentum stacks. I don't know why the fuck it'd be momentum, but that could very well be what it was. Oh yeah, I'm definitely getting gloves now, guys. That's bizarre.
Need more time.
That's what I meant to show you. Yeah, let me re-roll that real quick and do that one more time to see how long it takes to actually get like 2 minutes of double damage. Now that I've learned that apparently momentum matters. I guess. Let me try it with less density too.
Not ready yet.
There's one.
Need more time.
There's two.
I'm still waiting.
There's three. Oh. There's four.
Not ready yet.
Six. Or sorry, five. I can count. 6, 7.
Not ready yet.
I think that was. Nope, that wasn't it yet. 8. So that's 8 globes in less than a minute. That'll definitely be enough. 9.
I'm still waiting.
10. Yep. There. It generates globes. I still don't know why it wasn't working the first time. Let me try that again without momentum stacks. I'm still confused by that.
Not ready yet. Need more time.
No, I'm getting gloves.
Need more discipline.
Why wasn't it working the first time? I'm so confused.
I'm still waiting.
I didn't change anything.
Need more time.
So it works now. I really don't know what I fucked up that first time. Because that was like 2 globes in 2 minutes the first time for some reason. I'm so confused. There isn't even that many enemies compared to last time.
Not
So
enough
you don't need
discipline.
momentum stacks. I honestly can't tell you what was wrong. But it works now.
I'm still waiting.
I don't get it.
Not ready yet. Need more time.
They shouldn't have because I was still seeing blinded constantly. I don't know. That was weird. But yeah, don't need momentum stacks which you really shouldn't. I don't know why you would have to. But yeah, it definitely spawns globes enough.
I'm still waiting.
There was another version of the God DH I normally use though, which is actually this one. This is what we normally use in pushes, except in Mark for Death, we would normally trade that out for Sentries. So you actually do, instead of the Blind Faith and Blind Faith and Aquila's, you would actually do the 2-piece Marauder set. So you do 2-piece Marauders, 2-piece Crimsons, 3-piece God set, and the 2-piece Marauders gives you all the pets. Normally that doesn't sound all that useful, but it does give you about 4 or 5% damage reduction from the board, but that's not really the reason we use it. We use it because the Marauder set gives you all 7 pets. And so when it comes to positioning the Rift Guardian, you can actually trap them with your critters. Actually, I might have, let me see if I have one of the group videos from last season with that so I can show you. Should have one of them on here. 3-player, this should be it. But so you normally would have your Demon Hunter run away and then come back so that your pet is no longer aggroing the boss. But with this setup, you actually, bosses like Sandshaper, Rhyme, and stuff like that can't move once you've trapped them with your pets, because if the boss can't see another player behind the pet, because the pet acts as a wall, the boss is actually incapable of moving, and they can't teleport out of there either. So if you get a Rhyme, for example, into a doorway on Woods, and you use the Marauder's Demon Hunter, Rhyme is incapable of leaving the door. I'm trying to find a better example. That one was with Rhyme. Solo. Was this one with the DH? No, that one was with Barb. I must not have uploaded my 7-1, did I? Oh no, I think this one's it. Yeah, right here. Okay, so let me see if I showcase the boss fight properly on this one. Also, that needs to go away. I did get Binder, so she's not a great example. But so after you get the boss here, the Demon Hunter would normally run away and then come back. and you have the army of pets there. And let me see if I try to teleport her. Oh no, binder I wouldn't have. But so once you have the wall of pets right here, she can't actually, if this was Rhyme, she can't teleport to me here because if the pets are in front of me, they can't actually see me and they can't physically move past them. So you would get a boss trapped in a doorway or next to the wall where you normally want them, have the Demon Hunter come back to the group and body block them with an army of pets. And it keeps the boss perfectly positioned for your Twister stacking, which is really important for this wizard and the Firebirds wizard. I wish I had a better example to show you guys. I'll see if I can find one on my computer later. It shouldn't be disturbing the Z-Barb pulls though, because the Barb doesn't actually do most of the grouping with the Twister wizard in the group. If they're over spamming taunt, it will, but if they're for your God Demon Hunter to play properly, they wait until right after your Reverse Archon Twister comes out of Archon, pixels the entire group, and then your Demon Hunter applies its buff. The Barb actually shouldn't be stomping. Your wizard group's way better than the Barb can. This setup will also, the blinding setup will also mess with the pulls a bit because blind is a hard CC, but either the Demon Hunter or the Barb has to do it anyway. Someone has to fight that bullet. But yeah, that is the problem with it, is that the taunt from the boar will hard CC enemies. But it's manageable for sure. But ideally, you don't have two Firebirds. It's way stronger to use one Firebirds and one Reverse Archon Twister. My unaugmented Reverse Archon Twister kills trash and gets us to the boss faster than a Firebird's Twister does, fully augmented. Because area damage is king. That's why I need my Oculus.
Fortune favors the bold.
Plus, in terms of farming high GRs for augment gems, you're gonna, even if the Reverse Archon ended up being a little bit weaker, you would still want to run it because it's so much less lag. So a 10-minute rift or an 8-minute rift you can do in 14 minutes with the Reverse Archon Twister and the Firebird's Twister, where the Firebird's RGK only aggroes with his beam throughout the rift and only attacks during the Rift Guardian fight. But if you're running two Firebird's Twisters to spawn the boss and attack throughout the entire rift, then an 8-minute rift is actually going to take you about 35 to 45 minutes or more because of all of the frame drops that you're getting. So it's never going to be the most efficient to run two Firebirds, even if it ended up being twice as strong as that Trash Killer, which I'm telling you right now, it's just not. That Twister Wizard is a fucking monster. So the Marauders was definitely worth using, but it's debatable. Like if you can manage the positioning, like on a good boss, that Marauders won't matter. For most bosses, it does though, as long as the Demon Hunter is mindful of how the pets interact and knowing, or the DPS can call when the Demon Hunter needs to go away and when to come back, so that you can position the boss properly. Because it makes a really big difference on that boss fight that once you get them in the proper spot, they simply cannot leave. Definitely helped for Guardian fights, but this season I would recommend, at least for 3-man pushing, to drop the Barb, run an RGK and the Reverse Archon Twister, and bring a Demon Hunter. Because with higher Paragon, both wizards can survive without the Barb, and you don't need the pulls. Yeah, that's way too long, Matt. We were doing, like I said, without augments, we were doing 149s yesterday. In like our 8-minute clear was literally 14 minutes, which is still long, but it's no 25 to 50 minutes, so that's for damn sure.
Need more time. I need offering power.
Plus, it is not fun creating all that lag, and you can't reduce the lag on that Firebird setup other than not attacking. But if it's his job to get you to the moss, that's not an option.
Not ready yet.
I wasn't close enough to those there, so my images ran away.
Not ready yet.
Yeah, if you're in 4-man, you can do it 2 ways. One, you run the Marauder setup on the DH, and the Nephilim Glory on the Barb, and use Whirlwind as your movement. Or if you prefer having your Barb run Furious Charge, so that he can aggro and group more with mobility, then you run the God DH with Demolition on Strafe to generate Nephilim Glory, and the Barb can run Furious Charge. In around 16 to 18 minutes real time with 2 Firebirds, though. How fast is the in-game time? That's pretty good. Definitely still a lot more lag than the Twister is, though.
Need more time.
Hey, George, you're the one that had the, yeah, you're the one with the, I actually put this build together after seeing your clears with it on the solo board. I was really impressed by that. I was like, holy shit, that looks super cool. Because I was already running, so I was running the Traveler's Pledge Compass Rose setup, but dropped so that I could pick up Black Hole and Magic Weapon Conduit. And I hadn't considered going the mirror image setup with those two. So yeah, 7 to 9 minute riffs taking 16 to 18 minutes.
The Rift Gun.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if you were the first one to run this setup, but you were definitely the first one that I saw with it, and put it together based off yours. And then with the Traveler's Pledge setup and running the Templar, I had the heals to survive just fine in my riffs. That's me. But yeah, the Reverse Archon Twister Wizard is definitely a better trash killer than that Firebird's. We did a 149 yesterday, and or the other day, and without any augments, and the Firebird's Wizard not attacking at all during the rift, just so we could reduce lag, we spawned the boss in 6.5 minutes. Which I think you guys have like a 7-minute clear on softcore, or 6-minute clear, but that's fully augmented, and my Twister Wizard had no augments. I think he actually had 1 augment because of my COE. But my gear is also not perfect on it by any means. Fully augmented, I think that Reverse Archon Twister, even if the Firebird's AFKs the entire rift so that you reduce lag, will spawn the boss in under 3.5 or 4 minutes.
Need more time.
And you'll do speed GR, or farm 150s faster because of less in-game lag. We'll probably be able to do like real time about 9 to 12 minutes when doing farming 150s once I'm augmented.
Still waiting. Need more time.
Definitely a solid setup though. I appreciate you putting it together so I could have a different perspective on it.
Still waiting. Need more time. Not ready.
Well, I only got like 5-10 minutes and then I gotta get going. I have physical therapy in 20 minutes.
Not ready yet.
Could be the lead on this floor. Oh well.
Need more time.
I should be able to do one more rift after this and then get going.
Still waiting.
Shreds, if you're still here, what are you guys doing for speed rifts with this setup and like solo and duo and stuff like that? Or do you guys not do many speeds on software? Because I know a lot of the groups on software tend to just focus more on pushing when people are on.
Need more time.
The rift god.
Still waiting.
I love that you can make them not fuck off like that. It's so much better.
I need to go back.
Messed up my inputs for the fast gem ups. That's annoying.
Not
That's not
ready
where I
yet.
wanted to go.
Well, I wish you.
That's a lot of stuff. You run Obsidian, it's worth still 139. Okay.
Need more time.
Running the Dominance passive and Galvanizing Ward, then I take it? Or are you talking about with the
Not ready yet.
Diamond skin? Run speeds with this build just instead of COE. Go Traveler's Pledge Rorg. Oh really? That's what I'm doing right now. Just running the squirts in solo.
Need more time.
Have a good night, Rita, or good afternoon. I'll see you later. I'll be streaming later today if you want to stop by.
Still waiting.
Yeah, and solo to 3-man, we're doing 123s to 124s, using mirror images with squirts, COE, and Obsidian. And we dropped Audacity and Conflagration for Galvanizing Ward and Dominance. This setup works for any riffs that you're doing in under like 4 to 4.5 minutes, because that you can keep up the Dominance passive in those riffs. And you absolutely blast the rifts with it.
Still waiting.
Oh, my follower proc just bugged. That's annoying. Have a great day, Rita. I'll be taking off here in just a minute too to go to physical therapy.
Need more arcane power. Still waiting. Need more time. Not ready.
The Rift God.
There we go. Yeah, I could do one more. Maybe. Yeah, I should probably call it there.
Returning to town. Still waiting.
Can't even look at it right now. Damn, one roll away from being crit area. Ancient Chisel. Damn. Or APOC, low legendary roll.
Anything could happen.
78 keys. I'll have to
Can't
farm a
afford
little
that.
bit more later, but that should be good for most of this afternoon. Alright, I gotta clear some of this shit out of my stash. What don't I need? Primal Oculus is bad. I should probably keep it because it has attack speed. Too many obsidians. Do I have too many unities or something? Fuck yeah, I do. I'll never use that. Use this. Boots are trash. Those aren't bad. Yeah, I should keep those. Then we're gonna play Patterns of Justice. I have better boosts that are ancient or primal. Radius, keeping those. Radius. Those are for Templar, kind of. Better boots would pick up. if I answered this already, why do you usually try to aim at the walls instead of the monsters in solo pushing? So if you are twister stacking, so if you have an elite right on top of you and you're aiming out into the open, your twister ticks the Firebird's proc twice per second because it attacks 12 times in a 6-second window. And every time it hits, it procs the bonus. If it's traveling across or hits the pass through the enemy, it procs it 1 or 2 times and then transfers to the rest of the pack. If you have an elite right on top of you and you twister stack, where's a good spot, like right here, for example. Where's one that doesn't move, so I can show you. Sure. Oh, I know where I can do it. I can do it right over here. I need my twister not to be on fucking A. So if your twister perfectly stacks right here, over 6 seconds, that one skill activation is going to proc your 6-piece bonus 12 times per cast. All on top of the champion or elite pack or Rift Guardian that's right on top of you. So you're gonna literally do 6 times more damage versus the one enemy or the elite or guardian that you're trying to kill for your twisters if the twisters are staying on place on top of them compared to passing through them and going across the room. And so all you have to do that is you teleport against the wall and aiming directly at it, and your twisters are going to stack against there where the elite is to significantly increase your damage. If the twisters aren't stacking perfectly, you're still going to do at least like 3 to 4.5 times more damage for your twisters by stacking them on top of them. And that's for if you're ever trying to, like, Rift Guardian is the biggest example, or if you're not worried about killing the trash so much as you are killing the Rift Guardian, that's going to significantly increase your DPS. Are any of these pants any good? Those pants suck. Those pants also suck. I guess that's kind of my best arcane one though, isn't it? Yeah, I should probably keep it for that just in case. Garbage. Also garbage. Life after each kill. You pick up. Thorns, bye bye. Emo pants, savages. Those tails pants are pretty good. Need those. Need these. Need the Shalanics. God, I've gotten so many 50 stack belts, it's ridiculous. I've got 5 of them now. Why can't I get a Death Wish game? Don't need that. That's better. That one's worse, kind of. Oh yeah, I don't need that either. That's actually a pretty good one. This one. Yeah, I'll keep those. Death Wish is so annoying. Yeah, my best one is only a 275 because it has all the right stats. I have a couple that are higher legendary rolls, but like this one has a low damage range but has my damage percent and life per hit instead of cooldown or resource cost. This one's got vitality on it, which is arguably a good thing. This is probably my best one overall. It's got max damage range, damage percent, and life per hit, but no cooldown or resource cost. And friend and mirror images, you want those. I'll keep that in case I need to spend bounty mats. Alrighty though, guys, I do gotta get going. I'm headed to physical therapy. I'll stream again after I eat lunch when I get back. So I'll see you guys later. Thank you guys so much for hanging out. I'll see you then. See you guys.